Yo! The radiator's mounted. Cool. And that is a secondary transmission cooler. The main one is actually that guy, and it has a fan attached to it. So I'll have two different coolers for the transmission. I also have my air bumps mounted up here. I'm also going to run a piece of tube in between them. And that's this guy. And a little secret that only you guys will know. This is a 250 wall. Way too thick. But I've had it laying around in my shop for like 100 years. I've decided I'm going to use it. So yeah, you're going to have some 250 wall in between the air bumps up front. And then I'm drilling and tapping the top for my steering cooler. That'll be mounted dead center on top of that guy. Multi-purpose. And then I'm going to work on mounting the reservoir over here. It'll be mounted up high and pretty close to the pump, which is, well, it's what you'll want. Air bump support bar is in, as well as a location to mount my steering cooler. On to the next thing. Mounted. Mounted. Hello, we're back in the shop with the wife's Focus. So I'm gonna use this super cheap Harbor Freight bead breaker. Now, I had to modify the crap out of this thing for it to be usable. I don't know if it was to like break down like little BMX tires or what, but this thing could not break down a real tire like at all without breaking. All right, this has been a little nuts. Okay, we got some more welds on there. That's where the bolt sheared off, as you clearly saw in the video. All right, it worked. The new tire is mounted on. Right now I am driving to the local metal facility in my town. It is awesome that this place exists because it saves me some long trips to other places I'd have to drive to. I got to pick up some material for my skid plate and my interior and my fuel cell I have to make.
Way down there.
At one of my favorite locations.
Oh my God.
Need bolts for items like these. And bolts for, I don't know, everything else. Interior. We have nothing going on at the moment. It's going to start with me mounting the battery box down there, and I'm going to move straight into the floor / trans tunnel area / mounting of shifters and all that other stuff. All right, inside of the other buggy, of course. I like it. It works well. It's custom fit for me, by me, but the next setup will look totally different than this one. But I'm sure I'll appreciate both, designs. That's kind of what's fun about doing this. Is, it's not always a right or wrong answer. You can get creative. I wanted to show you guys what I just did here. I can't start working on my floor until I get the battery box in. However, even my battery box became a custom job. So normally, you unbolt the top and it comes off up there. That means you have to lift the battery up 5.5 feet to get it above the bottom of the tray. So I welded it here. I actually just threw a plate on here just to add some strength. And then I moved the tabs from here down to here. But then I only have to lift the battery up about 3/4 of an inch. And also, I am making the entire tray removable from the chassis. And now you can see why I've removed the front wall of the battery tray. There's going to be a collector above the battery. So I don't think I would have been able to remove the battery without taking off a good section of my exhaust. So here's what's going on now. Right now I've got this main top piece cut out. As nice as it would be to just start welding that in and move on to the next piece, it really makes more sense for me to mock the main piece up, which I did that. Then I can mock my transfer case shifter in, and when I get it right where I want, I can make marks for all of these holes I gotta drill. There's 10, and it's just easier to do that while it's still a single flat piece, rather than some kind of weird shape that it's gonna be. This gets dropped in. Thought I would update you on my interior. Interiors take forever. I already knew that, but it still stands true. Packages are always still arriving. Some harnesses showed up. I ordered a bunch of miscellaneous tabs again, some brake parts. We've got some grade 8 hardware from Rural King. It is a nice evening out here tonight. Dang. What's up, Moon? Here's the current situation on the interior. Plenty of time spent on this. And really everything has a reason for why it's there or why I did what I did. I think the fire extinguisher will work there. That's not permanent yet, but in that general area, hopefully I can get that to work. That'd be great. I'm gonna do some expanded metal in there, kind of that raised edge, grippy expanded metal. I noticed when you get in and out of these things that you kind of have like a side load on your shoes when you're getting in, and it is definitely nice to have some good grip. There's so much to go over that I can't list every reason why I did everything. Shifter is extremely important. You need that shifter to be like molded to where your right hand is. A lot of it is based around where I want that shifter first and foremost. I'll get over here and kind of show you where it's located. It fits very nice to my arm and where my hand is. Then we have a push button there that's nice and easy to get to. Ideally your push button, your shifter, and your kill switch, if you can get to that stuff when you're harnessed in tightly, that'd be awesome. So try to do that if you can. I just got done welding part of this quick release fire extinguisher mount together, and I actually bought that like 7 years ago. It was an extra one I bought because I figured maybe someday I'd need it. I want to say the pieces were cut out by J-Duck. Some of you guys might know who that is. But that's one of those little pieces that you would just lose and then you'd be mad because you knew you had it laying somewhere. But I totally had it in a little cardboard box. I'm going to take out the seats so I can get the rest of the floorboard underneath that whole area there. I'll do the same for the other side as well. And the 1974 radiator is back in action for 2022. So ideally, you custom fit the expanded metal to wrap around everything else on your buggy. So it's kind of a final piece in terms of the floor. So the last thing I need to do over here, my 5th point for my harnesses goes right there. So I'm gonna weld that in now. All right, the 5th point is welded in. Lots of spot welds later. It is nice and rigid, and with the seat back in place. And now the driver's side is complete as well. I also welded in that 5th point harness over here. Every minute spent on it is another minute closer to being finished. I think it is time to mount an orbital valve and steering wheel. Hot off the press. So apparently I was pretty good at not wasting much tube when I built this chassis. I need a 10-inch piece of tube and 8.5 is all I got laying around. That means I got to break into a fresh 20-foot piece just for 10 inches. Dang it. Alani new. It's still the same night. I am going inside. Steering wheel is mounted. And I don't know if you guys have ever done this yourself. And what I'm talking about is like mounting a steering wheel, the steering column, like by yourself. Because really you need to be like fastened into your seat, harnessed in all the way back, holding your steering wheel. How are you supposed to mount it if you're in the seat holding it? And like, you gotta check to make sure it's centered, that it's angled right, that you have leg room, but you don't wanna be holding it up here. Anyway, it's kind of a mess. Another update, I was like about to go inside because this whole deal took a while. And as I am like getting close to turning the music off, I see the boxes with the new brake system in it. So I decide to open it all up, put the whole assembly together, and then I just keep trucking. I decide I'm gonna mount the brakes tonight, and I did that. So that's awesome, that's done. But let me tell you, if you thought this would be crappy, Doing the brake system by yourself is way worse, like way worse. It's super awkward in its weight distribution, and the pedal has a bunch of throw. So once again, you have to be tucked back in your seat as if you're harnessed in, and you need to check the throw with your foot. But when it's not attached to anything, well, good luck doing that. It's super horrible. And yet the placement of that is extremely important, as well as the steering wheel. So I am pretty stoked those are just over with, because I wasn't looking forward to it, you know.